There are many ways to prepare for a race in hotter environments, and I want to share with you the method I used for my recent summer races that I found extremely successful. But first, who am I? Why should you listen to some random guy on the internet? Well, the answer is that this isn't my information, but Jason Koop's. The method I used and will be presenting was taken from the book Training Essentials for Ultrarunning, written by the legendary coach Jason Koop. This book is my running Bible, and anyone who is serious about their training should pick up a copy, whether you're running a 5K or an ultra, or doing a triathlon, biking, you get it. That being said, all the information, aside from my anecdotes, is taken straight from the book, so I want all credit given to Coop first and foremost. You may be asking, what benefits will you receive from heat acclimation? Well, it's far more than just mental, resulting in a number of physiological adaptations. A consistent regimen leads to internal changes that enable the body to function better in hot environments, resulting in the following benefits. Earlier onset of sweat response. Increased sweat rate. Decrease in sweat sodium concentration. Better sodium and chloride absorption through the sweat ducts. Lower skin and core temperature due to blood plasma volume expansion. Lower heart rate during exercise. Increased fluid and cardiovascular stability. Decreased metabolic cost of exercise. In summary, becoming heat acclimated will lead to the ability to tolerate and feel more comfortable in the heat. What it will not do is make you invincible. You will still be hot, you will still be uncomfortable, and you will still need to take measures to reduce body temperature during a race and always maintain proper hydration. Speaking of hydration, we're not training our bodies to operate while dehydrated, we're training it to respond to heat stimulus more efficiently. So remember, stay hydrated. Before jumping into the acclimation protocols, I think it's important to talk training priority. The main focus of your training blocks should be on the quantity and quality of your main training plan or workouts first and foremost. The more fit you are, the more effective your natural cooling mechanisms will be for hot environments. Running hard intervals in the middle of the day or wearing warm layers for your long runs will in fact provide a heat acclimation boost, but it will also limit the workout effectiveness. Additionally, if you cannot stay consistent with your heat acclimation, or the acclimation plan is significantly reducing the quality or quantity of your training, you need to choose a different method or just simply focus on training and forgo heat acclimation altogether. Okay, so now it's time for what you're here for, the methods of heat acclimation. In Coop's book, he goes over some of the different methods, but I'm going to cut to the chase and present what he discovered was the most effective way. Simply put, the recommended method is exposing yourself to heat directly following your normal training sessions, whether it be a dry, steam, or infrared sauna, or even a hot immersion bath. This allows you to focus on prioritizing the volume and intensity of your main training while also reaping the benefits of heat acclimation. Additionally, I find post-exercise sauna time to be the perfect place to meditate, reflect on the day's training, or even assess the rest of the week's training schedule. According to Coop, the most effective exposure methods are dry sauna, then immersion bath, and finally wet sauna. However, the best type of exposure method is the one you can maintain consistently. For me, I built an extremely cheap at-home setup using a pop-up wardrobe from IKEA and a steam generator I bought on Amazon. Before this, I would immerse myself in a hot bathtub and sometimes cover myself with a tarp. I'm very time constrained at home, so having the ability to adjust my running and sauna times fit my schedule and allowed me to stay consistent. Protocol number 1, repeated exposure. This is the ideal heat acclimation protocol and the one I've used this summer. For this method, 2 separate periods will be used, one 6 weeks out and the second during the final week, with maintenance sessions between the two. The maintenance sessions will be to ensure that you can effectively and quickly reacclimate during the final week pre-race. As you see, this method requires a heavy time commitment for the first 2 weeks and the final 2 weeks, but the 2 to 4 week block in the middle only requires a few sessions per week. I also ran some of my long runs in the middle of the day during the weekend, so I skipped the sauna time due to enough heat exposure during my normal training. Protocol number 2, single exposure. You can in fact see benefits from starting a heat acclimation plan just a few weeks out from an event, but you need to make sure to adjust your taper due to the additional stresses placed on your body. Using the first protocol, I found that the sauna was taking a heavy physical toll during the first 2 weeks, but by the final weeks I no longer felt drained after multiple days in a row in the sauna. Due to this protocol being so condensed, I highly recommend monitoring your energy levels as to not put too much stress on your body during your taper. Finally, I need to reiterate that heat acclimation will not make you invincible, and you will still need to take precautions as to not overheat during a race. This includes ice bandanas, pouring cold water on yourself, wearing loose and light colored clothing, and simply just stopping to rest and letting your body temperature drop. There is some important info to keep in mind when performing a heat acclimation regimen. Heat acclimation will make you tired. I find personally I'm a bit more sore the day after a long sauna session, especially if I neglected to rehydrate properly. You will need at least 7 to 10 days to notice the benefits, so please be patient. Once heat acclimation is achieved, you will need re-exposure once every 3 days to maintain the benefits. Degradation of heat acclimation is about 2.5% a day after the first 48 hours. Reacclimation can occur in as little as 4 days, but it's important to maintain consistency when leading up to a race. It's not ideal to compound a peak volume training week with heat acclimation sessions. Focus on your training first. You're not training your body to operate while dehydrated, you're training it to respond to heat more efficiently. Stay hydrated. As for the science behind heat acclimation and why your body responds the way that it does, I'm going to let you research that on your own. I debated on making this video longer and including this information, but there are literally dozens of videos on YouTube that can explain this far better than I could. Plus, I'm too honest to plagiarize others' videos, and I'm too lazy to put together my own charts and diagram. I used Coop's methods for 6 weeks leading up to my summer races in Florida, which were 3 races in July taking place over 14 days. I had a 100-miler in Vero Beach, an 18-miler at the Green Swamp, and finally a marathon over sand dunes in Jupiter, Florida. And you can find my detailed race reports on my channel if you're interested. But, in summary, I performed very well due to my heat training and found myself to be more comfortable during the hottest parts of the day, and cramping was significantly reduced as to what I'm previously experienced to. Finally, I'll leave you with a bit of my own advice. I believe that unless you are experienced in racing in the heat, you should schedule some of your long runs to either take place in the hottest part of the day or end during the hottest part. Becoming physiologically efficient is an amazing tool, but if you don't know how to hydrate on longer runs in the heat, then this tool is wasted. It may seem simple, but it's easy to neglect hydration at the beginning of a run and feel the effects on the latter half. If you're training for a marathon, but your longest run is only 10 or 13 miles, you may feel fine after those first 10 or 13, but your hydration may be inadequate for going much further. If you can get to 20 or maybe 22 miles, you should know the long-term hydration needs your body requires. Additionally, you need to discover what hydration methods work best for you as an individual. Electrolyte intake is important to avoid cramps and keep your body operating efficiently, but too many electrolytes can lead to hypernatremia. This is when your body has far too many electrolytes and is actually just as bad as not having enough electrolytes. Again, I'm not going to go into too much detail on this because there are many resources that present this information already, including, of course, Training Essentials for Ultrarunning, which you should definitely go out and buy and support Jason Koop, because I'm just a guinea pig. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out and comment. While I'm far from an expert, I love sharing my experiences, and if I could help you even just a little bit in achieving your goals, then I would consider this video a great success. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you out on the trails. Staying hydrated, of course.